It's my reader again. You don't mind, do you?
No, I don't mind.
Oh, this is awesome. Ta-da, she's back. How did it go?
They pay way less here than they do in
I know. San Francisco's a whole other place.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm going to have to go out again, but at least it went okay as far as the driving. It was all good. I had my emergency apple in case I caved.
Yeah.
I didn't need it though. It's still in the cup holder.
All right.
So that if you get attacked, food that's
Well, no, in case I felt like I really had to eat to be able to keep going.
You feel okay?
Yeah. So far, so good.
Well, what we was talking about was, I'm telling people I never dry fasted to become breatharian. That's not even, dry fasting and living on prana is two different things. But we are dealing with an energy, a source of energy that you want to tap into that's going to make the difference. And that's why there's a thing called spiritual practices or energy practices. They last the test of time for thousands of years for a reason, whether a person realizes what it's for or not. Now, when I say meditation is the foundation, no matter what meditation it is, all of them are designed for channeling energy. I know there's a lot of people saying they meditate. We talked about that one time. But I'll come back to them and say, if you really understood meditation, you shouldn't be sick. Because if the energy's flowing, sickness only comes about through the stagnation of energy flow. So whatever you're doing, it cannot be the meditation we're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's a loose word, so everybody played with it. Mm-hmm. So it don't matter if it's visualization, chanting, working with sound, it shall all end the same purpose, or opening up the energy channels. Why is that? Because you're an energy being. It was made by our ancestors to help us. Just like eating. It is the new eating. Mm-hmm. It's a food. So when you look up food, what is it? It's just the energy. Mm-hmm. But it's just at a denser level. So we can make this make sense. Wow. Now the brain, as we were saying, it needs the most energy in the body. And if it don't get its energy source, the energy it needs to keep it going, it will start shutting down the rest of the body. It will even put you to sleep. You can have a busy schedule, all this stuff to do. It'll be that day where the brain will look at your body and say, I'm sitting you down so I can go recharge. The brain don't care about what you got going on.
I'm falling asleep driving.
Right, it'll make you fall asleep driving. Because you done pushed it too hard.
Yeah. Anytime I try to go to a normal job, like even if it was a great job, whenever I felt like I was whenever I was getting underpaid or undertreated and badly, I wouldn't be able to go to work the next day. I'd get terribly sick. I couldn't even hardly walk.
Well, the brain said, we ain't going for this.
And I'm like, what? I was sick the night before.
Oh, man. So that's what it's dealing with, the energy source again, or what the brain needs. And your brain is so powerful, that's why I like how medical science now, they're saying basically, okay, we know that the brain is what? How should we say? The physical body is the gateway for the invisible forces. So your brain is the gateway of consciousness. That can't be measured. It's big. So that's why everybody's going there now. So if the brain, again, is shut down from other sources of energy and you're abusing it, it will shut you down. So that's why we have to come up with a way to compensate the brain, give it its due, so it won't kick us out the house. You still paying rent. There you is. If it don't get its rent, it's going to give you a notice. Okay.
About to get evicted.
You about to get evicted, right? You got so much time to go get my energy compensation so I can keep you in there. That's what it's saying. Bottom line. Oh, man. So, oh, man, this is good, ain't it? This is the breatharian journey. You got to learn it, because if you don't figure out a way to get your brain the energy it needs, you're going to have a hard time. That's why people died on the path, and that's why people got food disorders, because their body has not shifted over to another energy
That's what
source.
happened to me, like so many different types
Right.
of food disorders.
Food disorders.
I'm like, what the heck? I'm eating organic, I'm eating vegan, I'm not doing this to myself, I don't understand.
Pigging out, binging. That's not breatharianism.
Mm-mm.
That's just what? You're fasting for a minute, then all of a sudden you gotta eat everything because the body was about to die. Absolutely. Whatever about to happen. That was food disorders. But if the brain got its energy flow, you ain't gonna go through that. Now, where do we see that in the schematics? Now, the caduceus is the what? Symbolism for health in the medical profession. They got this staff and they got this serpent
So
going
glad
up.
you're talking about this.
Yeah. That's telling a lot. The staff is the spinal cord. They saying, hey, Marv,
Hey, what's happening?
we're going to San Diego soon.
All right, I'm going. I'm gonna go.
We got that staff to represent the spinal cord. Now, the medical profession, they did tell the truth on this one. And what they're saying is there must be an energy that comes from the hip, because this is the body. And it must come up and feed the brain. The serpent is coming up the pole. It ain't going down, because energy rises upwards. Don't heat rise upwards? It do. And the heat in your body, where's the most heat in the body? Right in the hip area. They telling you the truth. So we must figure out a way to get this energy that's coming from the hip, unhindered, to be the new nourishment of the brain. And if the brain got its energy, everything else in the body's happy. Whoa. It's happy. And then we got what? India got Shiva and Shakti. Two serpents coming up the staff. Y'all seen that one? Egypt got the same thing.
Yeah.
All around the world, they're telling you the same thing about what is a healthy human being. And a healthy human being is a healthy consciousness. That's what it's saying. Everything else don't mean the hell of beings. And it needs energy. If it don't get its energy, you're going to have to seek it somewhere else, and it's going to be hard on you. Or you're going to die. We got to make it plain. You out of here. You got evicted. Now there's energy everywhere. So that's why these different modes of meditation was made up, to show us how to tap into it. That's all. To tap into these energy sources so the brain can get compensated on what it needs. Now, there's a great art form dealing with the creative arts. And have you ever seen a picture that it looks so beautiful, but if you look hard enough, you can see a picture within a picture?
Mm-hmm.
That's called higher creative arts, where the artist, even though he was painting a picture for you to see one thing, if you had another eye or saw it at another angle, he created something within it.
That's my style.
That's
I
skill.
love that. It's so fun.
But it just ain't in paintings.
Yeah.
I was looking at, I love reading books, right? So, I was reading this author one time, Paul Anderson, doing sci-fi books. So I'm reading this book. And on the beginning, it's this crew that's on this spaceship. So I'm reading about this one member of the crew. Come to find out that the member of the crew wasn't a member like a person. It was the spaceship itself. That was good writing. To take your mind to think it was somebody, but it was a spaceship. That's art. Now let's get into the movies. We all seen the movies on TV, television, Hollywood, telling you a vision. But that's a good movie when you could be watching it and there's an esoteric message inside of the movie. Now we're in the age of YouTube, you see a lot of that now. They're telling you this is what the movie was trying to symbolize. This is what it was saying.
The Matrix.
Right. Over and over again. Many movies like that, but that's good art form. Now, one of them is, I like that movie Star Wars. We all seen the series. Old Star Wars. And it's telling the story. And they got your thing called the Jedi. All of y'all heard of the Jedi? Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because right in there, they got a great esoteric message. And if we talk about living on planet or being a breatharian, they basically saying it. Because what they're talking about is living and working with the Force. May the Force be with you. And when we woke up this morning, when we was doing our Qigongs and all that, we had a good workout, didn't we? We was working toe-to-toe with the force. And the force could take you as far as you want to. It has the value that you give it. Could you imagine doing that every morning without giving up that much time put in? You just know in 3 months you're going to be a total different creature. Working with the force. It transforms you. It has the power to do that. And when we was putting our hands up, feeling all that energy, y'all felt it, right? That's what the brain feeds off of. If it could get that every day and get its dose, it don't need no physical food no more. It won't even bother you.
I'm not hungry at all.
Won't even be hungry. Ain't no need to bother you. It's bothering you now because it ain't getting its due. It's saying your rent is due. You need to pay me my energy. That's what it's saying. So we got to figure out to go get a routine, another hustle going on where we can go get his energy. So it can make life easy for us and we can be more freed up. That's what it's saying. And the benefits is you'll have a whole lot more energy because if the brain happy, the whole body's happy. It will draw better things to you because it want to stay alive. You're a good servant to the brain then. Well, you're a bad servant, You getting kicked out, life getting miserable, it's sitting you down, it's
Having
giving
to
you
work
eviction.
extra hard, not
You
having
gotta
enough
work
time
harder.
for things.
All that stuff. You sad.
It's like all your time goes towards eating.
All of it goes toward killing yourself even more because you don't know what to do.
Yeah. But we don't realize that that's killing ourselves because it's not in our face like cigarettes and drinking.
Right.
It's like, we know those are doing it. It's like, this is the same category.
Same category. Right.
Substance.
And all it is energy.
Yeah.
So the Jedi, again, is working with the Force in the movie. They got the light side and the dark side. And all that is saying in esoteric circles, energy is just energy. It ain't saying it's good or bad. It's how we use it. You either can use it for good or you can use it for bad. That's what they're showing you in that movie, working with the Force. Now, read that Jedi for a minute.
Jedi, Samurai.
Now, George Lucas, he the one wrote Star Wars. And they say he got it from a samurai. Because the samurais in Japan had great loyalty. They were good with the swords, masters. They fought for the kings and stuff like that. They had great loyalty and they were skilled.
Devoted.
And they were devoted. There we go. Because when we say breatharian is a lifestyle, this ain't no destination. People was going to different 21-day processes, retreats, thinking that that's going to make them into a breatharian, but they want to go back to their lifestyle where they were smoking weed, drinking. Right! It ain't going to fit. They're not a samurai. They're not a... Right. You got to be devoted to a whole new way of living. That's what happened. You ain't living the same life. You devoted. You're waking up every morning just to work with your sword. Just like how we did this morning. That was samurai stuff. We met at a certain time when we was working on ourselves. That's what a breatharian does. That's the life you live. It ain't saying I'm going to sleep till noon today.
And smoke weed later.
Right, smoke weed later. The brain won't start bothering you again.
Wow, I feel like you're calling me out.
Right.
I'm
A lot of
hoping-
people getting called out on this one.
And I know I'm giving that up, so
Right.
I told myself, you better get it out of the house. You better give it away before you come home.
Right. But then you'll tell yourself, okay, I'll tell you my last, what they say, Jesus' last supper. You'll have your last little round.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it out your system. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So the Jedi, they got that from the samurai. Now read down from it.
Hebrew, beloved of God.
Now in Hebrew, Jedi means the beloved of God. See, I know we say God love everybody, right? But if God loved everybody, he'll be keeping everybody alive, wouldn't he? But there's a special favor coming with a Jedi. Somebody who's waking up, working directly with the Force. So that's a beloved of God. I got special favor with that individual. I keep that individual alive. Everybody else, you don't care about keeping alive. We got to go there.
You love him, he'll love you.
I know we like to be, right. There's a scripture that say that. I love those who love me. Those who wake up early shall find me. There's a scripture saying that. I made man in my likeness and image. You are imitating nature. Anything that's not imitating it, he ain't keeping it alive. That's what's happening. There ain't no love. But that means the beloved of God, don't it? That means he loved that person. That's why they got the, what? Powers of the Force. All right, keep reading.
Jedi. Anyone who is exceptionally skilled at something.
A Jedi. Anyone who is exceptionally skilled at something. So it ain't that'd be for the movie. If you got a car mechanic that's real good, you can call him a Jedi.
Wouldn't you also call a Jedi a person who's well skilled in the arts of Kung Fu?
Yeah, that's a Jedi. Exceptionally good at something.
And also a yogi.
A yogi. That's a Jedi.
Even a chef that's really
Even
good.
a chef. There's top chefs on the planet. Matter of fact, I don't even eat, but I heard that there's a chef over in Japan who do the world's best sushi, right? $500 a plate. I would have to break down and go try it. If he invited me right now,
What are you gonna do?
I had to go ahead and experience.
You're gonna smell it and look at it,
Right.
feel its energy, but not eat it.
No. $500 a plate. I gotta see what the top chef is about. I deal with it later. Let me come out. But for right now, see the sushi around the corner, that don't catch my attention. What, that's $10 a plate? $500 a plate, that means he's a Jedi.
I'm going with
He got his energy into it.
you. Yep.
That sushi might not even be the same. You might start flying. Oh, man. For real. That's what a Jedi is. It's somebody who's exceptionally good at something. Not just good. You top of the line. So a breatharian, when we said it's a person at a high vibration, we mean it. You done worked on energy so tough, you're exceptionally good at it. To where the force is sustaining you. You the beloved of God. You one with nature. Nature knows who you are. The trees is waving.
I swear they are.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Flowers are smiling. Rabbits ain't gotta run because you ain't gonna eat them.
They don't run. They come up to me when I'm meditating.
Right. The beloved of God. That's what it's saying.
I had a snake in front of me this close when I was meditating one day. It came and slithered in front of me. My eyes were closed and I felt it. So I opened my eyes and I very calmly just talked with it. And it went back and forth, slithered up and down. It's like it was dancing for me.
Right. She already rolling with the serpent.
I wasn't afraid of it, but I was afraid of snakes before then.
That's awesome.
But in my meditation, I said, no, there's nothing to fear. And because I said that, he started to dance for me.
Right. I ran into that situation one time where there was a raccoon. He was getting closer to me, and I said, man, it's probably because he really felt my energy.
Yeah.
But kind of find out he was sick. He had rabies.
Oh.
So that's why he was coming to me. I said, wait a minute, something wrong with this raccoon. I didn't feel that energy. It don't feel smooth. He ain't afraid of me. But anyway, but that's what we're dealing with. Now keep on reading the Jedi again. Somebody who's exceptionally good. It could be a doctor. There's good doctors out there who's good at what they do. They'll take your heart right out of your chest and have it beating on that table.
Put it right back.
Right, put it back in. Right, that's a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
We might as well go ahead and say it. All right, go ahead.
Anakin got his powers from the cells of the body.
All right, now Anakin is the character in the movie who ended up becoming Darth Vader, who's seen the movie. Now, this is how Anakin got his powers. Now, listen at this. Even though this is a movie, it's telling us about us right now. Listen at this.
Intelligent microscopic life forms that lived symbolically inside the cells of every living being.
Now, listen at this. In the movie, they saying the Force is microscopic intelligence that's living in the cells of every living being. Now, the Force is affecting everybody who's living, right? The squirrel, the cat, the dog, us, we're being animated by the Force. It's in every living being, and it's intelligent. Keep reading.
The Force is the inner source of energy that powers all living things and is manifested as an intracellular symbolic life form called Midi-chlorians.
Now listen at this. That sounds familiar, don't it? That's what we call God. God is in everything. He's omnipresent, whatever. Higher self. It don't matter what word we're using. They just made a movie out of it to change the word. Now they said in the movie, they called it Midi-chlorians. Any of y'all ever heard that in the movie? They say a Jedi has Midi-chlorians in their body. But this is where they got the word from. Read the midi-chlorians where they got it from.
Midi-chlorians equals combination of mitochondria, the endosymbiotics that powers your cells,
Right.
and chloroplast that performs photosynthesis in plants.
So the mighty.
Yeah.
Now listen out that. All right, what's that word again? That they use in Star Wars? The
Midi-chlorians.
Midi-chlorians. That's the word they use in the movies. But they got it from a true life word. The mitochondria that's in our cells. We as humans have mitochondria in our cells that do what? Now what that say?
That powers your cells, and chloroplast that performs photosynthesis in plants.
And chloroplast. Those are two words. Now chloroplast is in plants and algae, and that's what they use for photosynthesis. Now that's the plant life. So we do photosynthesis, and somebody said to me, we don't do photosynthesis like plants. Well, no, we don't. We do photosynthesis, but not like plants. They use chloroplast, and we got a thing called melanin. All human beings have melanin. That's what gives you what? Skin color, eye color, hair color. Now you got eumelanin, and you got, what's that other one called? Eumelanin, and it'll come to me. Pheomelanin. And that's just dealing with the two different branches of skin color, from the lighter to the darker. Okay, that's the external. Ding. But then everybody has neuromelanin. Neuromelanin, that's inside of you, in your pineal gland, in the brain. That's what, Substantia nigra. We're going to read about that. That is a great harvester of energy because you think energy. You think electricity. When you think those little thoughts and those pictures go through your head, that's electricity. You can see it. That's a television going on inside. That's working with energy. Your brain waves can be measured just like radio waves, right on the screen. You're an energy being, hands down. And the thing that gives you that power is a thing called melanin. Neuromelanin, that's inside of each and every one of us that you was born with. Everybody's working with energy. So you got what? The mitochondria that powers and fuels the cells, and the melanin that's running all through your neural system. Just for me to move my foot, that was an electrical signal. Uh-oh. You Jedi.
Yeah, I love what you said about thoughts too, because somebody told me, he's like, thoughts are literally things, we just can't see them on the visible eye spectrum.
Right.
It's very interesting. I gotta mention, brother Anu, right before you said Kung Fu, the thought Kung Fu had popped into my head right before you said it. I just smiled.
That happens sometimes for me, all the time.
Right, because all of our energy fields is connected.
Yeah.
So we're already reading each other's mind.
Exactly.
We do it all the time.
It's just, are you tuned in with it? Are you hearing it?
Sometimes you ain't even got to be tuned in, so we do it anyway. You hear what you want to hear.
We're transceivers.
We're transceivers.
Yeah.
You're transmitting energy all the time, and you're receiving energy. Everybody is. You can't get out of it. You live in this. Because going back to the force again, it's in every living thing. And we practice photosynthesis too, because we got the what? Mitochondria in our cells. We're going to read more about what that is. And we got a thing called neuromelanin that's a great harvester of energy. You need, because you got an energy system. So that's why when we was doing our Qigong, you felt the energy going through the body. That's what's conducted it through the body. It ain't far-fetched. And the body is carbon-based. Carbon is a good conductor of energy. That's what it does. Just like coal, you're basically trapped light. You just throwing out, that's all. We just got dents.
Yeah, we
That's
take
all.
care of this vessel.
Right. And all we doing through the exercises is just loosen it up so we can have a better energy flow. That's part of our nature. Oh, man. We hitting it, ain't we? Now keep reading again. This is getting good.
Mitochondria is the powerhouses of the cells.
Now, mitochondria is the powerhouses of the cells. Now, why is that? It's the powerhouse of the cell. Now, what else I got wrote there?
They are organelles that act like a digestive system which takes in nutrients and breaks them down.
Now listen at that. The organelles in the cells, now that sound familiar, organs. So not only we got organs in our body, your cell is an individual person. Each cell in your person is a little you, it's a mini me. That's just what it is. There's a whole bunch of mini me's all over you. It's its own person. It uses the bathroom, it eats, it works in this community. You got a community of cells all over the body. And it says that the mitochondria works as its digestive system. So that means when it eats energy, whatever form it might be, it's going to use the bathroom to get rid of it. Ain't that how we interpret it? We're geniuses. We got to look right over it again. Uh-oh. So that's why I was watching a cartoon one time. Not a cartoon. Any of y'all ever heard of Little Rascals?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think I told y'all with this one, but they wanted to, they were selling some lemonade. And it was a real hot day and they couldn't sell no lemonade. So then one of them came up with a bright idea. It got some crackers and put a whole lot of salt on it and gave the crackers away for free. So when the people started eating the crackers, they got thirsty. And then they went and bought the lemonade. Because the salt, see, this is what salt does. Salt will go inside the cells and irritate the cells, and you start feeling thirsty so the cells could dry themselves out. That's real life stuff. Stop drinking salt, eating salt for a while, see your health improve. We're just going there because this is intelligence again. Your cell is like, I don't want to be trapped with this salt. It's making me uncomfortable. This ain't who I am. I got to get rid of it. So a lot of your stuff, when we say, can you live without water? Yeah, you can if you stop eating salt. Yeah, you can if you keep the cells clean, because cells ultimately feed off of ATP, which is a high frequency energy that's in the atmosphere. That's what they do. They're already light beings. They don't need nothing you eating. That's why we say this is just a life experience. Don't come telling me about no food or what it's supposed to do to you. All your cells going to do is get rid of it. It ain't going to do nothing for you. Just put you more to work.
We still have to get rid of the debris.
Right, get rid of all the debris, the feces, all that other stuff. And you can live way beyond that. That's your potential. Oh, man. All right, keep reading.
Which takes in nutrients and breaks them down and creates energy-rich molecules for the cell. The biochemical processes of the cell are known as cellular respiration.
Cellular respiration, the biochemical functions of the cell. Now we got, in spirituality, we got two systems. Okay, we got the 12 different systems we learned. Digestive system, this and that, all right? But the two main systems we got going for us is our electrical system, which is the base of our body. That's what we feel when we doing meditation. You're an electrical being. That's your foundation. That's the one you wasn't taught about in school. But we were taught about the chemical system, which is your endocrine system. So you're also a bag of chemicals. So dealing with Egypt again, it used to be called Kemet or Kemet. That's where they get the word chemical from. You understand? So it's all going full circle. So your electrical system and your chemical system work hand in hand. They work together just differently. One works on the electrical level, the other one works on the chemical level. So that's why we deal with the chakras, energy systems. They're lined up where your endocrine systems is to give off the hormones. But at the same time, that electrical system is the foundation that you activate through meditation. And you keep those energy channels open so the energy can keep flowing. Now let's show you what chemicals are. The sun is out right now, right? So that means that our pineal gland in our head is giving off a chemical called serotonin. Now notice your body ain't even need to ask you. It didn't. And then when the moon come out, when that sun leaves, it's going to give off what? Melatonin. Same gland. So your body's already hooked up with the force, the bigger force. It ain't asking your permission. That's the chemical system. It didn't need no food to make melatonin. It happened just through the rotation of the sun and the moon. The energetic forces. Oh, man. Here we go again. This is getting good, ain't it? You Jedi. You just got to learn how to work with the force again. You can move stuff, read people's thoughts, change their ideas, all this stuff. Keep reading.
Protein regulates movement of mitochondria in brain cells. They are present in all the cells of the body.
Now the protein, let's get to that. Now there was a time we was fooled and they said we need to get protein out of meat. Now we won that battle. Now they say, okay, we can get protein out of all these plants and vegetables. And then we learned that protein means primary substance. I did a video where it's in the air. But now let's go even further. We were just doing a fasting video, and I'm going to show y'all that later on, where the brain produces protein. Your body produces it. It don't even need no outside source. Why would it? Because fasting has got updated. They got so many medical benefits in fasting, I'm going to show you the videos. Your body produces protein production, especially when it's not eating. It's when you eat it dumbs down the production.
Because it doesn't need it.
It doesn't need it. So we dumb the body down by eating too much. It went dormant. It ain't working out its high potential. Whoa.
It's like how you're saying, you just have to, once you feel the energy that it's there for you to step into or whatnot.
To step into it. You're a Jedi now. You're learning you're a Jedi.
But you can only step into it when you're not eating food.
Right. You're working with the forces. That's all it is. Higher forces. Now keep reading.
ATP, a major source of energy for cellular reaction.
It's a major source of energy for cellular reaction. Remember I said your cells feed off of ATP, but it's a major source of power. It ain't say no apple, did it? Absolutely not. Let the apple be the apple. Let the squirrels eat the apples or something. You ain't no squirrel. Right. What makes the human being different is because our frontal cortex in our brain, we got the most what? Neurons there. So we got that neuron melanin going for us. All right. Now, keep reading. Where we at now?
Neuromelanin.
Neuromelanin. Now, listen to what they say about neuromelanin.
Dark pigment found in the brain.
Dark pigment found in the brain. All right.
Which is structurally related to melanin.
Which is structurally related to melanin.
It is found in large quantities of the substance.
The Substantia nigra.
Substantia nigra.
And that just means black substance. Nigra means black. Substantia means what? Substance. And that's a medical term that's in the brain. When the baby's born, his head is born first. You know, got this big head with no body. And it got this little black dot that's there. That's the Substantia nigra. That's there. That's basically the energy center that's going to fuel that whole. The body comes second. It's just an extension. That head is made first. And that black substance is already in the head. It don't matter who you are. It's there. It's needed because that's the thing that's going to conduct the energy all throughout the body. That's the tree of life. That's your fuel source. Uh-oh. Let's go with it.
Giving it a dark color.
Giving it a dark color.
Biophoton therapy.
Now, to show you I'm telling the truth, any of y'all ever heard of biophoton therapy? Okay, you've heard of it. Huh?
You're talking about the sun, right? You're talking about,
Well, they got the,
yeah.
well, yeah.
Oh, no. Also, now you're talking bio.
Well, biophoton therapy. Now, it is dealing with the sun, but they got a therapy set up now on a planet where you could go get light therapy done for health purposes. It's a legitimate therapy, and this is basically what they're saying. This is biophoton therapy. I did a whole class on this so people could be well aware what light is doing to the body. Yes, the human being does practice photosynthesis. Check this out.
Biophoton therapy uses the healing power of light to affect hormones and cells. Light photons are absorbed by the skin.
Light photons are absorbed by the skin and is used as a healing therapy to heal people.
They were doing that today, right?
Y'all was doing that today. Y'all was all out in the sun. Feeling good, wasn't you?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now, is there more to read on that one? Yeah, listen at this.
Multiply in the body and quickly disperse throughout.
So it's activated by the skin as soon as you make contact with the light, and it's multiplied in the body and it's dispersed throughout. So that means your hand could sit up there in sunlight. right? Not the rest of the body. But it's going to take it and disperse it throughout the body on what it needs from the light. See, they say you get vitamin D from the sun, right? But you don't. The light comes in contact with the calcium that's in the blood, and that produces the vitamin D. They both had to come together. That's photosynthesis. But they just told us vitamin D one thing, because they lying. You do more than that. That's why they got biophoton therapy. Famous all around the planet right now. People going to go get light therapy so it can disperse all throughout the body
I've done it.
to create what it needs. Absolutely.
It didn't fix me though.
Well, you probably got to do more treatments.
Exactly. No. Yeah, different.
Stay
kind.
under the light. But see, I'm glad you brought up that point. When you live in a breatharian lifestyle, your job is just live a life staying in the light.
Yeah.
Just don't walk in and walk out and expect to get healed. You living in the light.
I was going through.
That's
the
why
dark
you
night of the
meditate.
soul.
When we was meditating this morning, we was in a shower of cosmic energy.
I noticed the sun though. Living in intense sun for 11 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like periods of time you noticed that the sun was giving energy and causing the body to blossom. That's the way I interpreted it.
Right.
20 years ago, but I was like, wow, I got all this energy. And then other times, I'd get too much light. I was like, did you stay too long? Stay too long or something? And I'd be like, I'm drained.
Right, too much.
But I realized that it was definitely some sort of, like,
The light was
perfect
affecting
amount for whatever calcium or whatever
Right.
other chemicals were in my body and whatever's going on. It seemed to be
Right.
an equation of this is appropriate and how long I stayed, because I could stay for long. I
You
could
did
stay
your
for
own
2 hours.
experiment.
I could stay for 4 hours just in the sun,
Right.
and different times it was.
Now this is
a
why it
different
pays.
experience.
This is why it pays. Just what you're saying. What you eat makes a difference on how the light is going to react to you. There's some foods you put in your body that will reflect it off of you, and there's some foods that will give you that will attract it to you.
For instance, when you're speaking about these certain foods, like, shouldn't you have foods that, for instance, have these properties that would be conducive, like more chlorophyll in the food itself, like spirulina, for instance?
Absolutely. That's why we on the fruit and vegetables now.
Yeah.
Ain't the medical profession talking about more fruits and vegetables? Because how are they made? Up under the sun. We just putting 2 + 2 together. We don't want to eat no pig that was in the shed all day long and they just fed him to get fat. He ain't got no life force once you killed him. So it's going to block the sunlight as soon as the person eat them. Then they gut hanging and they wonder why they sick. The doctor misdiagnosed me.
I get the feeling when I listen to you talk, I get the feeling that the human body is like a self-generating thing. Once you get the right pieces, then it knows that it can continue going without having any more external put in it, other than
Listen to what he said.
a couple of things like your cosmic energy,
Right.
and some sun.
Right.
But you know what I mean? It's like, no, we can operate continuously and efficiently.
Right.
You know what I
Don't
mean?
even need you.
Yeah.
All it needed to be do is, see, like feng shui. Have you ever heard of that? When you set furniture up in a certain position to get more energy?
Yeah.
The body's the same way. You set it up just right.
Yeah.
It don't need no help. The right environment, the right situation, it will go on and on and on.
It's just like a machine if it's
Chemicals, right?
broken.
Chemicals, right? Electricity.
Broken.
Yep. The best machine on the planet. It can repair itself, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But we're getting in the way.
Because we don't have the right piece though.
The right pieces, getting in the way.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it alive. Now did not just say that. I jumped the gun on that one. We'll come back to that one. Try to keep it alive. All right, keep reading.
By passing through the neural pathways and along the spinal cord, they reach the brain, where they harmonize the production of various hormones.
Now listen to that again. Uh-oh. They went up the spinal cord. You still reading? That's a Biophoton. Now read the whole thing, and I ain't going to even mess with you all the way to the end there. And listen to this. He going to go up.
So I'm going to go back a little bit about the photons, just a couple sentences, so I can get it on.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a good reader, ain't he?
Yeah, you're good, my friend.
All right. Now listen to this real slowly. Okay, go ahead.
Biophoton therapy uses the healing power of light to affect hormones in cells. Light photons are absorbed by the skin, multiply in the body, and quickly disperse throughout. By passing through the neural pathways and along the spinal cord, they reach the brain, where they harmonize the production of various hormones.
Whoa! It's dispersed throughout the body in that word again, neural pathways. Then we said we got that neural melanin all throughout the body. The neural pathways to go up the spinal cord. That's why they got the spinal cord in the Caduceus in the medical profession and all these other ancient civilizations. This is the center of your body. The light is going to go up the spinal cord. Now, I didn't say down the spinal cord. Why not? Because the brain needs the most energy, right? It's going straight to the brain to create the hormones that it needs. Ain't that what it said? It creates its own chemicals. All it needs is the light. Oh, man. This is good, ain't it?
I have a question. So, as you just spoke that, when we were speaking previously about coming into the path,
Right.
you also said about a gradual progression. But as you just said now, it seems as if a person has a sincere intentions, they could just go straight into it. But wouldn't there also have to be the cleaning of the cellular walls so that they're just like a solar panel that's dirty? Like you just got to clean off the muck.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, everybody's walk is going to be different. So there's still a process. It's just some will be able to go faster than others depending on where you come from, depending on where the mindset at. Nobody's arguing that.
What kind of food is good? What would you recommend for detoxing if you're getting off it?
See, now you asked me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, well, in reference to his question.
We'll get back to that one when we deal with user-friendly foods. Because right now, we hot right now. We really hot. Food's child's play right now, what we talking about. All right.
I was like, should I even ask?
But it goes straight up the spinal cord to the brain so the brain can produce the hormones that it needs, the chemicals that it needs. Here we go now. Oh, man, that's good, ain't it? Now they got this word Jedi. Now, before they tried to tell us they got it from George Lucas modeled some of the, samurai warriors. But no, it goes deeper than that. Now we got to get into it. Now, do I got that word on there? The Djed?
Djed, yes.
All right. It's spelled Djed.
Like the Djed.
Right. But they turned around the words and put Jedi, but it comes from the ancient word Djed. That's in Egypt.
Djed.
And there's a Djed pillar, or they call it the battery pile. Some say that's even where they got the battery from. What it is a pillar, and it got 4 stacks on it. There's many different pictures of it. It's also associated with the Ankh that gives life. But what they say the battery pile is, there's stacks on it. Sort of like you could take a copper penny,
Yeah.
and then put some cotton, right, and stack it. And then you can put an ohm meter on it or whatever, an ohm meter, and it will give a charge. The bigger you make the stack, the bigger the charge. Because there's electricity in the atmosphere, and if you put the right pieces of things together and conduct energy, you just made you a battery. I got this organite necklace on. They call it organite for 2 reasons. Where did organite come from? Orgasm or organs. And all they did was took all natural materials, put them together, and it will get the energy out of the atmosphere. This is what Nikola Tesla was talking about. It don't matter who it is, but they got this from ancient times. The Djed, the pillar. And it represents, keep reading so we can see what it represents.
Okay. The Djed represents stability?
Stability.
Okay.
Something being stable, set in place. All right, keep reading.
It is associated with the creator god Ptah
Now listen.
and Osiris.
So it's related to the created God, Ptah and Osiris. Now let's translate that and see what that means. Ptah is what they use the word for the pituitary gland in the brain. Osiris, now listen at that word. Iris of the eye. You got your third eye, right? Osiris is your pineal gland. The pineal gland and pituitary gland is in the brain. They work hand in hand. The pineal gland works on an electrical level. The pituitary gland works on the chemical level. It's the mother gland that activates the rest of them. That's why they say what? The children of Israel went into the land of milk and honey. The substance that the pineal gland gives off is white in color. And the hormone that gives off of the pituitary gland is yellow. Milk and honey. Those are similitudes that tell us what we need to do now. This is the self-sufficient battery power. It don't need nothing external. You were born like that. Man,
We set it up right.
We got to set it up right. Somebody had to tell us. Uh-oh, this is getting good, ain't it? We got to sit on that one for a minute. That was a lot. Whoa! Did I say that? Whoa! So these gods that they have wasn't gods like that. They were just talking about the organs. Ptah and Osiris. They're right here in the brain. Claustrum. That's where they get the word Santa Claus from. That's the middle of the brain. All these words is meaning something talking about your makeup. This is the chimney bringing down the gifts. This is where the power is at. It ain't external. I don't want to hear nothing about no money, houses, and cars. That's child's play. Ain't nothing more expensive than me.
We're Christless.
When you get evicted out of this, that's when it's over with. The house, you can find anywhere to go sleep. That's if you need to go sleep. If you feel like it, you don't need to go to sleep. Right. Oh, man, did I say that?
He's on a roll.
We're rolling hard now.
We're rolling hard. Always rolling hard.
The land of milk and honey. This is when you reach the promised land, where you done woke up.
That's like they have some songs that are like that are like really old, you know.
Right.
Oh man, those are like some legendary songs too about
Telling it to us. So that's where the Jedi come from, the Djed, from ancient times. So when they show us those pictures where people had halos and stuff, that wasn't no halo like that to be a saint. That was just saying that their brain got enough energy.
their crown chakra.
That's how we should. That's how you should be. When you're a breatharian, you got a halo.
Yeah.
The brain got its energy. It ain't needed from the lower elements no more. You done went into the promised land of a thought process, where the pituitary gland and the pineal gland, Ptah and Osiris, is giving off the right hormones at the right time at the right portions. And you understand to what? Live in the light so that the light could disperse throughout the body, go up the spinal cord, and feed the brain what it needs. And if the brain is happy, the rest of the body is happy. Your life is happy.
That's for sure.
You won't even see death. Oh, man. Did we say that? Yep. Keep reading. This is good.
Ptah and Osiris, the Egyptian god of the afterlife, the underworld, and the dead.
Now listen at this. They usually say Osiris is the Egyptian god of the afterlife and the underworld. That usually throws people off.
What?
That throws them off. Well, how can he be this great god, but he's the god of the afterlife or the underworld? See, your human life, okay, nobody's arguing, you're here. But that's a small portion of the bigger picture of your full life. This is your mortal life. But when you reach your afterlife, after this, we ain't talking about going to the grave. We're talking about you making the transformation. This is why this is why you're here.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you're here. To go into the afterlife, the underworld. Something is different than this. It's a thought process. Let it soak in for a minute.
I love that.
So maybe underworld is the hidden.
They're hidden.
It's hidden.
That you don't see with these eyes. So that's why he was the god of the afterlife. That's why in Islam they use the word the hereafter. They ain't talking about somebody dying and going to heaven. The hereafter, after this event. You live in this event now. Suffering, living like an animal, chasing what? Food, sex, and shelter. You go into the afterlife, the land of milk and honey, you don't need those things no more. Oh man.
As he smiles.
Right, as I smile. Whoa! And he had the magical garment on, which was Osiris' skin. Because this is an organ. If the inside organs is up and running and healthy, the external This skin is shining. It's the one, this is the largest organ, and this is the one that's hooked up with all the inner organs and the external. It ain't blocked up. This is your consciousness. That's a full awakened Christmas tree. Who, what, where?
Oh no, I think it's.
Oh, it was an apartment.
Oh.
A lady
You know
over
what?
there in an apartment. I see her, I think.
That's a guy over there.
Oh man, this is good. That's the Jedi. All the way. The Djed, the return of the Jedi is happening right now. That's why the Breatharian knowledge resurrected itself. To wake those up who understand, wait a minute, let me start working with the Force. Let me transform myself. Let me go the other direction. I ain't supposed to see the hospital. It shouldn't even be in your reality.
Only time I've seen was when someone else taking there for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the power we have. Whoa. Man, any more?
Backbone.
And it's the backbone. That's what it's saying. The Djed is the backbone.
So Ankh.
And that's why they get your what? Esoteric words, the 33 vertebrae. Jesus started his ministry, what? At the age of 33. 33 degree Mason. They talk about your backbone. That's the power. It ain't got nothing to do with no secret meeting happening somewhere. They don't know nothing. This is the big meeting right here. The Masons got great secrets. They don't know nothing. They looking at you. You the one. All right, go ahead and read.
Ankh, breath of life. Afterlife, life after death. Stream of consciousness continues after the death of the physical body.
The stream of consciousness continues after the death of the physical body. Now let's translate that. The stream of consciousness continues. So that's why they keep telling you a religion, but we ain't been translating it right. You must die first. You must die in order to live. Die to come back to life. And Osiris went through a death before he came back to life. But we ain't talking about the death of the physical grave where everybody go to the funeral crying for you. We ain't talking about that one. We're talking about you're dying to the flesh. You're dying to desires. This is already dead. This had never been alive. That's what Hotima tried to tell us in man's higher consciousness. This is already dead. That's why you at a funeral is just laying there. The only reason why this is moving is because I'm making it move. It ain't got nothing to do with what you're supposed to eat, what you're supposed to keep it alive. Just let it die. It's already dead. The problem is you try to give it life and it don't need no life. That's what they're talking about. Oh man. This is good, ain't it?
Wow.
It got everything it needs in order to keep going. A self-regulating machine. A self-regulating biochemical apparatus.
I have a question. So when, say if a breatharian being manifests another being who can, I'm getting at with that, and that child, for instance, what is your, excuse me, I'm having a hard time speaking this. What is your perspective on that child's upbringing?
He's going through his process too.
Alright, so even if the parents were breatharian and they're fully engaged, for instance, in the same resonance of where you would be in this present moment, and then they just, for instance, brought forth a new being, would that being still be tainted by the material modes of nature, or would, since the
It'll be speeded up.
Okay.
Now this is what we'll say. The child usually goes to what? Feed off the mother.
Yeah.
Then it goes to Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to Sky Father.
Mm.
Now listen at that.
Mm-hmm.
And Mother Earth don't mean eating all the animals and cows and stuff like that. We ain't say that at all. In other words, it still have to go through its development because what? There's a certain age where a child's brain ain't even developed yet. So it still have to go through its development. It goes to Mother Earth. Boom, boom, boom. First to Mother Earth, then the Sky Father dealing with the higher frequency cosmic energy.
Oh, when you say it has to develop, it's like it has to develop to a certain degree that it will know what to do with the hormones and stuff.
Right.
too?
See, it's not responsible for itself
Until a certain point.
until a certain
of
point.
getting there.
That's why
Being
you
developed,
what?
right.
Or it's parental supervision.
And that's why you have to feed your children organic fruits, because otherwise the pesticides get right in there.
At least feed them Mother Earth, and then educate them
That's it.
on what they should be learning meditation, working with the higher forces. And when the body gets strong enough to pick up a higher influx of energy, because it's a weaker machine. Remember what we were saying yesterday? The more the body is aged, the stronger it is energetically. It's been here longer. This body is weak. See, we've been thinking that the child got a lot of energy. It seems that way because he's running around. And we got, But no, this is the one that got a lot of energy. See how the paradigm is changing? So their body is being picked up to a certain degree towards able to get a higher influx of energy. Right now, it's born from here. Just like we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in essence, it's like we're building a battery. So it's like you're talking about those layers. You're sort of building that battery, from when you pop in. You're building a battery.
Right.
And literally, if you get it just right, you're going to be like a nuclear fusion type thing where it just keeps...
Absolutely.
Keeps, some sort of... nuclear reaction that happens in you.
And looking at the word
nuclear. Relative
nuclear.
to these people that explode. You've heard that?
Oh, yeah.
You messed up the experience.
Right.
They exploded.
And that's not far-fetched.
I'm just making these associations right off the top of my head.
And he used that word nuclear.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we got the nucleus of the cell.
Yeah.
Atomic. All those words, atomic bombs. This is what they talk about. This is
This thing.
nuclear energy. Yeah, it's self-sustaining. Oh, man. It don't need nothing. All we're doing is what? Using this vessel at a low degree just by going to fossil fuels. And the machine could do a whole lot more. You're upgrading. That's all we're doing. Upgrading. That's why we're saying on this breatharian journey, you don't need to beat up on yourself. Just take your time and polish your ride. Get your new tires every once in a while when you can afford them. You know what I mean? You're working on your new vehicle. It'll get there because that's what it's designed to do.
A news question about breatharian birth reminded me of Akai and Camilla. Didn't they have a situation like that?
Well, yeah, that's kind of put out there, but we'll let them talk on that one.
Right. Yeah, that just, we'll talk about it. Yeah.
But that's where we're at. Now, of course, society's going to change the more, people come into this consciousness. Nobody's arguing that. Because evolution just means change. So just like if we the more you come into your change or your evolution and the more people pick this up, it's going to change the system. It's going to make it user-friendly for more people in the future. All this good stuff. So that's why it always starts somewhere until it get bigger. Because believe me, even for the human being, if there was that so-called fall, I wonder who was the first person to eat a cow.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
wonder
question.
That must have been bold.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me just.
I mean, were they
They
desperate
might have
or
started
what?
with a rabbit or something before they got to the cow.
Right.
Bigger is better.
Right. I can outdo you on this one. Watch this. Wow.
Wasn't God the first one? He killed them. He killed the cow to give them clothing.
Killed the cow to give them clothing.
Killed an animal to give them clothing.
Give them clothing.
After they ate the forbidden fruit.
Yes, indeed. And then after that, they started to die immediately. You wouldn't live to see a day, which is a 1,000-year period. So I mean, they were living into the late hundreds, but they could never reach 1,000 because they couldn't self-sustain themselves at that point.
Actually, it went the other way.
Really? I was wrong?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
It went the other way because they, if you look at the King's record, the Sumerians were using a sexadecimal system, and if you multiply the numbers of years that are in the Bible in Genesis times 60, you get the same or approximation, very close to the same number of the King's list in the Sumerian tablets.
What is that number?
Which meant that they lived like thousands of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then a day would be an whole age?
Well, yeah, that's a year is a day and a day is a year is kind of I don't think it really represents what
I'm
we
thinking of?
think it does.
Alright.
Yeah.
Thank you for that illumination. I appreciate you.
And this is a good age, Will. See, just to have conversations like that, to relook at it.
Yeah.
And right now, we're in the age like we're going to do my little travels. Yeah, everybody, everywhere I go, there's a group of people exercising, doing this other stuff. So we already mastered biological immortality. Now, what does that mean? That means everybody kind of do got the memo. If I do certain actions, I could get more out of the vehicle. That's not even an argument. If If I can do certain actions, I can get more out of the vehicle. If I abuse the vehicle this way, it's going to lower my chances to what? Have a better experience. So that's biological immortality. That's a consciousness. Whoa. So now, since we got the breatharian knowledge on the scene, the more people going in for it, and it's a health message. It ain't about coming to breatharian. It's about how can you get the highest potential vibration out of this vehicle where you at that time. And it'll keep upgrading. Then you'll take it to another level. That's it. You're already floating. You can be proud of yourself along the way. All you gotta do is, that's why you should keep your logbook so you won't forget. Oh yeah, this is how I was doing, last year. I don't even feel that way no more. I don't even remember doing that now. Wow. I done walked across the whole state. I walked to the mall and it's 10 miles away. That wasn't nothing. That's what you're doing. Just for GP for something to do. Oh man, it changes your whole reality. And then when it comes down to the doctor's office, you could be proud to go in and walk out. You should be too. They should be calling you, say, well, we got to talk. Your blood pressure went up, but I ain't do nothing. It don't work like that.
You know, when I go to the doctor at my age and I say that I don't take any medications, they look at me like, well, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's strange. They never encounter that. I mean, it's,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's extremely rare.
That's something, ain't it?
They do that to my grandparents, too. They've told me that. once.
That's where everybody at. They expect you to be on some medication. You don't
Yeah.
take no medication, you're supposed to.
I don't
No,
make my
it's- that's
doctor any
really
money
scary.
either.
That's what they saying. Oh man.
When I
So-
went to the doctor, I got a good report this year for having a lot of good gut bacteria, and it wasn't what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting anything, but I was super happy.
See, there you go.
I'm not in the same spot at all.
That
that
goes
I
off the
was.
conversation we was having earlier. You know you're on a path if you know you're doing
You're
better
improving.
health-wise. And you're
Exactly.
improving. And you can stay on that
Greatly.
cycle.
Yeah.
It ain't about, 10 years ago I was like that. No.
Every year.
You can
Get
be
better.
like that every year, continually. That's the Breatharian lifestyle. That's the Jedi lifestyle. You made a code, an honor. That's what you did. That's why they was in it.
Mhm.
They meditated. They worked on their skills, exceptional skills. Like when I tell people I ain't catch a cold in 20 years. Now that's exceptional. You know why it happens is mucus. Just keep the mucus out the system.
Keep the food out.
Right.
Food
And
causes
it won't happen.
mucus, right?
Food causes mucus.
That's
That
how
won't
we make
happen.
everything
Or at
right.
least if you do eat fast during those time periods, and you won't catch it. Then you won't miss days of work. You lose money when you sick.
Mm-hmm.
You do. You lose good times.
Tell me about it.
I'm waiting on a call for somebody now. They won't call me because they say they've been sick lately for 10 days. I said, boy, they're in hell. That is hell. We think hell is up on the ground.
That's
No,
it.
they lost 10 days just now. Can't even call me on the phone because they sick. That's hell.
I wonder what they ate.
Yeah, wondering what they ate. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I lost a few. I didn't lose them, but in the sense you're talking about, a few years, just because I was eating meat.
Right. You lose years, time, money.
Sick.
It's expensive to die.
Yeah, it's expensive to die.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's easy to live and expensive to die.
So much money, man.
And when we just got finished reading, all you gotta do is get out the way. That's true. That's what it's about. See, that's why when I tell people, at least fast once a week, your body would get so used to it, it'd be looking forward to that time period.
Yeah.
It'd be like, man, I get to go rest.
Time to take a nice
Right.
vaccine.
We won't get evicted, Heart start beating hard, you eat too
I
much.
swear to goodness.
You should really start feeling yourself. Right.
I feel my heart every time I eat, and I have to put my hand on my heart, and I have to breathe and say, balance.
Right, give yourself CPR. Breathe. I mean, this is good when you come into this, but the thing about it, to maintain it, you got to get the what? Jedi mentality, where they just made... And the thing about the Jedi in the movies, their life was no longer the same when they found out about becoming a Jedi. They left their old home, their own family, they had a new name,
Ooh.
all of that stuff. That's a spiritual path.
Yeah, I remember the Jedi code.
The Jedi code,
Yeah.
all of
They
that.
say, there is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos. There is harmony. There is no death. There is the force.
Give him a round of applause.
Yeah,
See? He got it down.
But that's just because I'm a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I love that, dude. I love that. That's awesome.
Who said that?
That's a Jedi code. Yeah.
And then
There's also a
Yoda,
Sith code.
and then Yoda was trying to, what? He said some words that Buddha was saying, but it was basically what? Craving leads to pain, and pain leads to suffering, something like that. But Yoda said something about anger leading
Leads to the dark side.
right. Basically,
Yeah.
that stuff leads you to the dark side, they're telling you.
Fear to anger.
Mhm.
Something to fear to anger, and anger to
Straight
dark
up
side.
telling us, or what these forces are doing. It's just energy, but it's how you start using them. And one will lead you one way, you'll have a whole nother existence compared to another one. We do it all the time. But the good thing about this knowledge is it's a powerful thing where you can heal yourself. And it's a powerful thing is, another powerful thing, even if you get sick, you know why it happened.
Oh yeah.
And you can get out of it. You know directly what you've been doing.
It's not even funny anymore.
Right. All you gotta do is pat yourself on the back. Did you have a good time? Well, I ate a lot of
Oh
cake.
my goodness, stop it.
Let me turn it around.
You're calling me out. Right before I came here, I was starting to feel sick because I was eating a little more than I normally would.
Jesus' Last Supper. Elitom gonna starve me. Let me get enough down now.
Oh my god. I noticed my brain was doing this weird thing of like, I knew I was going to be fasting, and I was like eating, and I wanted to eat more. I said, no,
That's
I'm not
what
doing this.
We can sit and see convince ourselves all the time. Let me get this
Right.
last one in.
You can unconvince yourself if you notice it too, though.
You can unconvince yourself.
But you got to catch it.
But that's the person you had to talk with the most is yourself.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. That's why to learn those codes of ethics, that's what you be doing. Talking to yourself. To keep it on a certain path. To keep it in the light. If it stays in the light, that's basically what we're saying. The brain gonna get what it needs, and it won't bother you. Wow. It won't bother you. That's a good one, ain't it? Man. So y'all ready for some good Merkabah? Oh, I got more?
One more thing. It's the Djed pillar electricity.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Now, the Djed pillar, and it also deals with electricity. You can look this up on the internet because that's what we were saying. It's the battery power. Now, that word electricity, that EL, now listen at that. Big words that they use in the English language use that EL. They use that word for God in some cultures, electricity, elder, elected. They use that word EL for a lot of things. And also it's the masculine. The magnetism represents the female, and they usually use that for Mary Magdalene, maritime law, the waters, the emotions. So they go hand in hand on how they're saying it, but those are esoteric words. Now read that electricity dealing with the battery power.
The Djed pillar electricity. Electrical apparatus resemble electrical insulators.
So that when you look at the Djed pillar, if y'all ever get on the internet, look it up on there. It represents it look like an electrical insulator. So that's what this modern day electronics don't let this civilization fool you like they just popped up and it came out of nowhere. Each civilization is built on top of each other. Knowledge can get lost and it can re-resurrect itself. There's nothing new up under the sun. So that represents those, when you start looking at that, those are like schematics. When you look at the backbone and all of that and how they got it written down, like electrical insulators. So it can hold electrical current. And that's what's happening with our body. So even in that book, the biography of a yogi, Yogananda, I believe, he basically was telling them over 100 years ago here in America, yeah, the electricity goes up and down the spinal cord. That's what he was saying. You see God going inside. That's where we at. They got Jacob's ladder in the scriptures, the angels going up and down the ladder, but it's all symbology. Talked about that electrical current that it's our responsibility to keep it flowing, working with the force. And you can become very strong energetically and become strong powerfully working with these forces. That's what we're talking about. And they got, like I said, food freedom is just scratching the surface. Now they do got esoteric books out there. I looked at it and I saw it. Now, for number one, you don't need to see death. Why should you? There's a reason why you're sitting there. But then they got you can hold 80% of electricity within the body. When it gets up to an 80%, that's the furthest you can get where people still can see you. Why wouldn't it be? You're just molecules put together. That means you work with so much energy. Yeah, you somewhere else, teleporting, all this other good stuff. I'm trying to get there because I'm tired of buying plane tickets. I got things to do. I don't want to keep walking around.
Crazy.
Right.
Is it measurable?
That's a 9-phase
Well,
device, and it's
it should be.
in the books.
We'll see.
Who talks about it?
Well, the Ascension Manual, they had that Leonard Orr.
Oh, okay.
They had those and different other references. So it's around when you start really searching on this. Because even when we got that word 33. Now, 33 degree of energy, life force energy, is what you could get in your body to be food free. So basically, I know I'm holding 33% at least.
33.
The average person is holding, well, that just represents your spinal cord. You got a certain amount of energy coming up the spinal cord where the body could be sustained by. That's the foundation of the body, stability. This is what you want.
I just read 33 this morning.
Oh, yeah?
The only number that I felt called to read in my book, and I happened to write it down.
Now, the average person who's still eating and ain't developed yet is usually holding about 10% of electricity. 10%.
Is there a way to measure it?
Well,
Meditation.
Like, oh, you were about to say.
No, that's what I'd asked them.
Oh.
Is there a way to
some
measure
people came with methods, but I ain't never checked yet. What I do, I'll let you know. Maybe I'll come up with a device myself.
Right?
I mean, you could use muscle testing.
Ding!
Oh, yeah, maybe you could.
Yeah, and all that good stuff.
Use what?
Oh, yeah.
Muscle
Muscle
testing.
testing.
Oh,
Physiology testing.
Muscle testing, all this other stuff, and there's techniques where you can feel your energy field. We'll work with that. We got a lot of energy work to do.
what it does, just listen to those doctors. You guys, those videos, and the woman's talking about all the,
Yes or no.
just like
You could
4 or
ask
5
about 3%, about
tests.
5%.
Yeah.
And then she can go, dude, I can just tell you where you're at. I can tell you if you're sick. I can tell you if you're like
Right.
super healthy.
Right.
It's about four or so tests.
Because this is the
that
book.
that are not on the normal.
Right. This is the book.
Do you have like a reading list for us? Recommended reading list for Jedis?
I got a. Oh,
Yeah.
I sure do. Yeah.
I like that.
I got a video list. I done upgraded the videos now. Because even when I looked at the that book, the autobiography of a yogi,
Yeah.
Athena was like, read this, and I was ready to read the first chapter. I said, wait a minute. So I went to YouTube and see where they read it for you. And I was like, nah, that's more like it.
Yeah,
So
that's
I got a reading list for you.
I love it. That's way better.
Yeah.
I'll read, but not as long as I'll read.
Yeah, I want to know about those books.
All right, so we'll get a good list together because that's what we want. As much information as possible and keep working with it.
Yeah.
So we can work with ourselves. And the more you can wrap your brain, that's why this is education.
Yeah.
The more you can wrap your brain around it, the better off you are. Your body say, I can see that. Because you only can do what you can see.
Yeah.
See, it's sort of like when I was taking martial arts, somebody will do a move, and if you can't see yourself doing it, you ain't be able to do it yet.
Yeah.
So you'll start out slow until you get that body, get that memory into it before you start going faster. But you need to go slow first, and once the body can wrap it, I can do that. You're floating. So that's all we're doing is retraining the body and the mind so it can go into its full potential. Oh man, this is good, ain't it? Now it's time for some great Merkaba meditation. Have any of y'all ever did that before?
I think I've done it once before, a while ago.
Oh, well, y'all gonna love this one. We got some work to do. So y'all can take a good, 5-minute break. And then we can meet here and get a good Merkaba meditation going on.
Was Athena coming back?
Yeah, she was at the Apple store downloading her phone.
Okay, I can be.
All right. This is good once again. The Return of the Jedi.